Hi, girls, and welcome back to Self Care Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as black girls. I'm BB, and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. So, hello. Um, I'm back with another episode. Today's episode is going to be about the importance of a hobby. And in case a lot of you were just completely oblivious of what's been going on for the past year, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Even though things may be looking up, I don't know, depending on how you view what's been happening. Yeah, so if you haven't picked up a hobby by now, I don't know what you're really doing, but it's okay. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to encourage you to pick up a hobby because having one is very important, and I feel like it's a very good way to practice self-care, and not necessarily physical self-care, but maybe mental, emotional, self-care. So I have I don't know, tips, advice, 5 pieces of advice. I'm not sure. You decide how you want to look at it. As to why you should pick up a hobby, or why having a hobby, why having a hobby is important. So, I'm going to get going with these. The first is that it could be a stress relief, and I feel like this is the biggest point that I wanted to make during this episode, that having a hobby is, and I'm not even going to say it is, but maybe potentially a stress relief, because some people may get frustrated with what they're doing if it's not going right, and then that's more stress. But it has the potential to be a stress relief. What I mean by that is a hobby is something that you like to do, some activity that you're interested in, be it stamp collecting, sewing, crocheting, something like that. And, doing something like that, something that isn't required that you do, could, relieve the stress that doing, job work or school work brings on. So, picking up a hobby, could relieve some stress. So if you're feeling stressed and you don't have a hobby, I suggest you find something. If you're not sure what you're into, just think about your interests. What are you interested in? If you still aren't having luck, Google it. There's so many lists out there with different things you could do as a hobby. Find something that you may be interested in, and do it. If it's something you're interested in, good. If it's not, then maybe move on to something else. The next thing is that it gives you something to do. So, a lot of people have been home, nothing to do, If you live alone, then once your house is clean, then, you got another week before you have to do any, and serious-ish cleaning, especially if you haven't gone anywhere and you haven't had people in and out of your house, potentially bringing in COVID. So, yeah, so you might want to, it'll give you something to do with your time, instead of just sitting down, binge watching show after show after show, which, do you. If that's your hobby, I'm not mad at you, because I've been trying to get into more TV recently. I haven't been watching as much TV as I would like. So, do that if it makes you happy. But if you don't want to do that and you want to find something to do with your time, then, like I said, Google, there's lists with different things that you could do, and, find something that is interesting to you, and boom, you've got something to do with your time. The next thing, is that it's a great way to spend time with loved ones. This is only, and I guess this could apply to all of them, but this is more so geared towards hobbies that include other people. For instance, you know what? I'm not even gonna say for instance because maybe you like board games. I'm not too sure how many board games there are out there that you can play by yourself. If there are any, please let me know because that would be quite interesting. I'm big board game fanatic. You can ask my siblings. I love them. I have a disturbing collection of them, but it's fine. It's a great way to spend time with friends, family, who have been in a similar predicament as you, not being able to get out the house or just, I don't want to say scared, but almost scared to, leave because so many people think that wearing masks is not important. And I'm not even going to go down that wormhole. So, yeah, it's a great way to spend time with loved ones and friends, family that you maybe hadn't gotten a chance to see that much since this pandemic began, or, who haven't had a chance to do anything fun or with other people. So it's a great way, to bring the family together and, have some fun. Another thing is, depending on what the hobby is, you have the potential. What? You have the potential to improve a skill that could be useful in the future. Like, say, and knock on wood, something happens and sewing machines are down. Sewing, not crochet needles. You could crochet your clothes or something like, I don't know, something that may be useful in the future. I can't think of any hobbies off the top of my head that would be particularly useful. Maybe sewing, definitely sewing. Okay, that's one. Sewing could be useful in the future. You could improve your patching, or who knows, you might be able to sew a whole piece of some type of clothing, a shirt, pair of pants, or something like that. So a hobby like that, you're improving a skill, and there are a plethora of others out there that will help build your skills. I just can't think of any right now. It's too early in the morning. I'm still trying to wake up, and I haven't had my coffee or food. So, like I said earlier, Google, there are so many hobbies out there that, could build on some skills that may be useful. And then the last one, I'm not really going to say that this is the importance of a hobby, but, just like a benefit if you're willing to do it, or if you want the stuff that comes along with it. Depending on your hobby, it could be potentially profitable. The sewing, definitely crocheting, maybe you're a drawer or something like that. All of these and many more have the potential to be profitable. But like I said, that is completely up to you. And this is more so a benefit of having a hobby, more so than a importance. So, just something to think about, especially if you were one of the ones that lost your job at the beginning of this pandemic and still haven't had the opportunity to get a new one or something of that sort. But yeah, so that's all that I have for you all today. If you're interested in some of my hobbies, I would be more than welcome to share those with you all. If not, that's cool. Everybody, you do what you do. But yeah, that's all I have for you all this week. Thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you all next week. Bye. Thank you all so much for listening this week. If you have any questions, comments, stories, or tips, and you'd like to share them with me, email me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com. If you'd like to help other people find this podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes to help get the word out. If iTunes isn't your preferred method of listening, you can also find us on Spotify, YouTube, and many more streaming platforms. If you'd like to interact with other listeners or keep up with announcements and giveaways, you should follow me on Instagram at selfcareblackgirls. Join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/selfcareblackgirls, or follow me on Twitter at selfcarebgirls. Don't forget, you all still have the option to donate by either visiting my Patreon link or my merch link in the bio of my Instagram and Twitter. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you all next week. Bye.